knowing what your brand is about is going to help you to be able to say, pass, 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 smash. Hi guys, hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for a lot of things that are happening this February, and I'm going to be sharing them with you in a bit. But if you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're returning, you're welcome back. My name is Paula Poole, and I basically help you go out there and be a badass about your brand. So I give you tips and tricks and hacks and really all-round development to help you go out there and say, listen, this is my brand and this is what I can do, and you guys need to pay me for it. So if you're new here in this channel, you're going to be seeing some of personal branding, some of social media marketing, and some of personal development. I strongly believe that it is the woman that makes the brand. So we've got to build you to become the woman that builds the brand. Now, before I move on, I'm super excited this month because, guys, I finally did it. Well, I'm in the process of doing it, but we're launching our podcast. I can't believe I said that out loud. And let me tell you a quick story. Last year, sometime towards the last quarter of last year, right, I was working on my Substack newsletter. And if you know Substack, by the way, if you're not in our Substack community, you should totally join. And all of those links are going to be in the description. So I was on Substack, I was writing, right? I remember it was in the night because that's when I do some of my best work. And, it turns out that Substack had added like a podcast opportunity. Like you can also send a voice note or a podcasty thing together with your newsletter. And it was so tempting. In fact, I actually recorded, an episode there and then. But in the morning, I really looked because, there's passion and I'm this really spontaneous person. But I have learned as I've grown that you cannot just be spontaneous about everything. So by morning, when it was bright and reality dawned, I realized that I really had too much on my plate to add a podcast at that point. And so that's how that didn't happen. Now, between then and now, what has changed is I had this season of growth. I had this period where I saw my capacity, where I had to deliver for a client, and it pushed me beyond my limit. And I saw how if I could do that much for that client, then I can definitely do it for myself. So I rearranged my schedule and I really put myself together and made myself really organized enough to do this podcast, right? That's one. Number two, I could finally afford to do it in a proper way. And by proper, I mean being able to afford everything that will make me put it on the actual platforms like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Spotify, so that it will reach everybody that is supposed to be reaching, right? So I'm really grateful that between then and now, I was able to do that. So by the way, let this be a lesson. I mean, I'm always sharing here. If it doesn't work or if it cannot work, if there's something you really want and is looking like it's not going to work right now, just give it some time. It's probably not the right time because you don't have things in place. Now, because my capacity has extended and, financially I'm able to support that in a better way, and I'm able to release it because I have grown with my brand too. And my confidence has increased and my knowledge has increased, and the results that I have gotten in this period has given me, again, much more confidence. So again, give yourself time, give yourself grace. If it doesn't work out immediately, it doesn't mean it's not going to work out. So say hello to the latest podcaster in town. No, the podcast is launching on the 16th of February. I'm going to be everywhere I can reach you because there's this thing about getting on New and Noteworthy, and I really want that for us because every win for me is a win for us. When I do it, it is proof that it can be done, and so you can do it. And so this is, for me, it's not just my brand, it's mine and yours. So our podcast is launching. It's called She's the Brand. If you're on any of my socials, you would have seen it. You would have been a part of voting, especially the arts, because we had to pick. But anyways, I will tell you all about the journey of the podcast probably in another video. If you want that, let me know in the comments. If you want to support us right from the get-go, I will drop a link in the description. Yeah, so the news has been delivered. Now, if you're using social media to build your brand, if you're building your personal brand, or you're building your online business, all of that has to do with content, because that's how you communicate, right? You cannot just open a page and leave it blank. What you put on your page, how you communicate to your audience, how you get your clients is through words. That's the bottom line, right? But if your words are not coherent, if you're not put together, if your messaging is not clear, people are not going to know how you can help them. It's not going to be clear, and confused people don't buy. I've said this a lot of times. Confused people don't buy. So today I'm going to be teaching you why you need a consistent voice on social media and how you can get that. Now, clarity is the mother of it all. You've heard clarity on this page so many times, it's making your head spin, but that's the truth of it. Now, but I'm not talking about clarity like with yourself now, because that's what I've talked about in my previous videos. Now it's clarity of brand. Now, because it's your personal brand you're most likely building if you're watching this, then you are the brand. But so now this is clarity on your messaging. There's who you are, there's who you serve, but there's how you serve, right? And that's something you have to communicate clearly. Now, a few weeks ago, somebody came into my DM and she's like, listen, I want to take my personal brand seriously. I really want to know where to start. And it was a win. Every client that comes to my DM is a win. So I shared it with a friend of mine. What she said to me was, I'm paraphrasing, it is amazing that people come to you for this one thing. And I stopped and I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, like I've clarified my messaging so much that you know exactly how I can help you. You know exactly what I can do for you. And that's really exciting for me, right? That's what I'm teaching here. That's what I'm teaching my one-on-one clients and supporting them with. And that's what I'm going to be talking about a lot of times on the podcast too. But so you have to get clear on your messaging. You cannot do it all for one person. You cannot do it all for everybody. And you don't even want to be honest. People are looking for experts. Now, I used this analogy with my client last week and I just want to repeat it. Let's say I'm the client, right? And I'm about to be 30. I'll be 30 in May. So you guys, like, this is our season. But I'm a 30-year-old woman. I've got 2 kids. I've got a family to raise. That is one pillar of my life, one very important pillar. Now, I'm getting to 30. I'm starting to be more deliberate about my health. I'm starting to be more deliberate about my, diet and what I'm eating and all of that. That's another aspect of my life. I'm being deliberate about my mentals, about what I feed my soul, my prayer life, my spirituality, and all of that. That's another pillar of my life. I'm really interested in, let me find something. I'm really interested in lifestyle, like having the luxe life, but not luxe, I don't always going out. I love to go out, you know that, but luxe onto the little luxuries that I allow myself in my house, within my space, how I, wellness and all of that. That's another thing. Now, I've listed like 5 things that I'm interested in. I'm interested in improving in my life. I also have my business that's, I'm growing my brand, is doing well. I know there's so many other levels to unlock. So that's another important pillar. So these are things that are important in my life. And all of these things I need help with, right? So, but if I find one person that says she wants to coach me on parenting and building a brand and spirituality and wellness and health, I'm going to run away from that person, because there is no way that you can do all of that and do it well. And so when you're trying to help everybody with everything, that's kind of how confused you look. And you don't want that, because that is going to repel your ideal client. So when I'm ready to focus, when I'm ready to invest in my wellness, I know who I'm going to go to, because I've been following her for a while. Most likely I've consumed her free content. I've taken maybe 1 or 2 classes. And I know that when I'm ready to pay for somebody to support me in this way, I'm going here. When I feel like my sons have unlocked a new level and I'm confused about what to do and I really want to do it right, I know the parenting coach I'm going to go and approach. When I'm ready to unlock my next level, I know the coach I'm going to approach. So clear messaging positions you like that. So when you don't get like immediate clients, you get to feel discouraged because you feel like your content is not working. Oh, but it is. Your content is working because people are seeing you. Your ideal client has already decided to work with you. She's just not ready yet. She's probably not ready because of finances or priorities or, things like that. Because your messaging is clear, because you watched this video, you worked with me, because your messaging is clear, she knows that when she's ready to work on this problem, maybe in like 2 months, she knows where she's going to go straight. Or she's waiting for you to launch the program that can support her. Maybe she cannot afford your one-on-one right now, but she's waiting for you to open a group coaching program so that she will attend. It's not a enter the market, browse around and pick one person. People usually take time. Your customer journey is probably like 3 to 6 months. So, but you've got to be clear in your messaging for those 3 to 6 months. Not month one, you want to help with my business. Month two, you want to help with maybe Facebook ads. Month three, you can help with organization in the house. There's a way that you can balance all of these things as a part of you and what you're interested in and what you do, but your offer and what transformation you can give to your clients, that should be clear and consistent. So the next thing you want to consider when you're trying to develop a consistent brand is your brand tone. I say brand vibe because like a vibe cannot be, you cannot put your hand on a vibe. You cannot like actually define a vibe, but you feel a vibe, right? And for me, my vibe is motivational, casual, and maybe with a hint of humor, right? And that is me in person. Of course, that translates through my brand. And so you've got to decide what your vibe is, or you've got to really check for what your vibe is. Because if your vibe is more like fun and outgoing, and that's really who you are and how best you can serve people, but because you feel like you've got to be professional, you come on and you're really trying to be uptight, it doesn't work, right? Because people can tell that something is off even if they cannot tell what's off. So find your brand tone, actually define it. You might not be able to like say everything, but like pick maybe 3 things that you want your vibe to be about, that you feel your vibe is about, and try to stay consistent with that. Clear on your message, you're clear on your tone. It's time to get clear on your identity. Like, who are you? What is your brand? And what's their space? What's their place in the market? For me, my brand helps you elevate, and it helps you position, and it helps you become high value. So, because these are the words I associate my brand with, when it comes to things like fonts, like colors, like what I say and how I move, all of these things are in my mind. And so if I were to ask you, if you've been following me on Instagram, what word would you describe my brand? As a matter of fact, let's make that a question. If you're not on my Instagram, go to my Instagram and take a look, right? Just get a feel of the page and then let me know, like, how would you describe my brand? What word would you, if you had to say one word about my brand, what would it be? And so because I'm intentional about these things, and that's what I want for you to be intentional about your brand, but gain clarity on like who you are, what your brand is about, who you serve, and that will help you with the clarity. When you're trying to find this clarity, it is great to keep in mind the overall destination for your client. Like, where are you taking her? Is she going to be healthier, wealthier, more intentional? Is she going to be more outgoing, more confident? What result are you going to bring for your client? Now, having known all of that, the final thing that I will say with maintaining a consistent brand, and this is in no way saying you should not experiment, but when you understand your brand and how it works and what your audience expects from you and all of that, you'll be able to, say pass to some trends. Because I understand in social media, trends come and trends go. If something is not your vibe, you can tell. And so if you can tell that this trend is great, I see other people doing it, but it's not me, it's not my thing, it's not my brand thing, then you'll be able to pass. Every trend is not for you. I love trends, but I also know that not every trend is for me. And so if not every trend is for you, then knowing what your brand is about and who you're talking to and the message you're delivering is going to help you to be able to say, pass, 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 smash. Knowing what your brand is about and who you're talking to and the message you're delivering is going to help you to be able to say, pass, 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 smash. And that's another trend that you can check out on Instagram. So I hope that successfully helped you to get a clear idea of what your brand is about so that you can maintain a consistent voice on social media. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section or send me a message on Instagram or just reach out in any way. Again, our podcast is launching on the 16th of February by 6 a.m. in the morning. I cannot wait. So this is a new era. This is ushering in yet another level to the layers of this brand. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and I will see you next week. Bye.